So now I want to talk about creating momentum through action. And let's face it, at the end of the day, the only thing that really matters is if your client's actually taking action steps to create the reality that they want. And of course, you are going to have clients that are going to go there, they're going to seem very motivated, and they're going to tell you that they're ready to make these changes in their lives, but they're not actually going to take the action steps. Why? And we'll talk about that a little bit more later, but it's recognizing that we have to help our clients create action. And there's two different types of action. So there's massive action that they can take, or there's little steps that they can take. And obviously it doesn't mean that one is exclusive of the other one, that if you just focus on little steps, you're not actually taking massive actions at the same time. But there are pros and cons to all of them. And really at the beginning, you have to develop an understanding of your client. You have to understand what they feel comfortable with. And that'll happen as you keep working with them for you to understand if maybe they're not doing certain steps and what you can do to help them, because maybe the action just seems too big. Maybe they're the type of people that are more of the dreamers. They want these things, but they seem too big and they create these big plans, but they never actually follow through because they don't actually have any logical way of doing it, or they're not really thinking it through fully. Or other people that create a bunch of things to do and then they get overwhelmed with those things to do. And they don't know which where to start and so on and so on. So you have to help them create the steps to be able to move forward through action. And we give you a couple tools of how to create quick wins and the 5-second rule and things like that you're going to be able to see. But really what we suggest is focusing on that. Creating quick wins with your clients to get them jump started in the process. And I talk about this for myself, that I always start with quick wins. So helping your clients identify what are some of the quick wins that they can get at the beginning of the day so they can feel empowered and they can move forward. At the same time, you want to help your clients develop massive actions, because massive actions create momentum. And obviously they've already taken some massive action if they hired you as a coach. But you want them to take some other massive action as they move forward. And massive action is really a commitment that they're making to themselves and to the process. So that could be signing up for a training, or setting up a meeting, or if they want to build more confidence in speaking, setting up somewhere in their company that they're going to do a presentation or something like that. Just massive action that just makes them jump right in, that lets them know, I am truly, truly committed to this. And the reason you want to do that is because the more massive action sometimes you take, the more committed you are going to be to that process. So I always encourage my clients to develop those quick wins and also develop a massive action. And we talk about those massive actions that they can take to move them forward. And then you might ask yourself, what if they're not taking any action? Then you have to assess why. Are there small steps in place that they can take to create momentum, to create motivation? Is there a structural problem with this, such as they don't use a planner, they don't have a way to keep track of what things they need to do and things like that? Because if they're not doing that, then they're not going to know what to do and they're going to feel overwhelmed anyways, because they're not going to be able to really process what their next step is. Maybe they don't have clarity on what their next step is. So making it clear what they need to do and what they're working on for that week. At the same time, it could be something that's not compelling. You have to have something that's going to pull them towards that goal that they want to be working on. Maybe it just doesn't excite them. Maybe, again, they haven't committed to a massive action that then is going to give them that sense of urgency to move forward with that. Again, when I work with clients and when I look at action steps, I always look at action steps that they're going to enjoy, that they're going to find pleasurable, that they're going to really want to commit to, that's going to pull them. Because if you keep pushing and pushing and pushing, it's very hard for them to maintain that motivation long term. So you have to be willing and able to see that part of them, to see what's going to help them move forward. And one thing I also suggest is when you're talking about action, if they're not taking it, that's something that you need to nip in the butt right away. You want to let your clients know that you're committed to their action. And that's a waste of your time if they're not taking action. Because like I tell my clients, I want them to succeed 100%, but I can't force them to succeed. So if they're going to work with me, they have to do the legwork. They have to actually commit and take the steps. Because if not, I won't work with them. And my clients know that, because I'm not going to work with somebody who's not ready. I'm not going to work with somebody that's not going to take the steps to actually improve their life. even if they're paying me. Why? Because it's this service to them, and it's a disservice to my time where I can spend it helping other people. So you have to be able to help them identify concrete steps, build upon those steps, like I said, make sure there's a structural plan so that they can keep up with it, whether it's using a planner, whether it's an email system that they create for themselves, and then pick a massive action again that's going to motivate them, that's going to show them that they're committed, and then pick something that's also going to pull them towards them and show that they can be motivated through that process and that can actually do it. And lastly, what I like to show my clients with massive action is show them examples of other people that have taken action and how they've transformed their life. Because if they can see that someone else could do it, it gives them to understand that they can do it if they too take those steps to get there. Hope that helps.